button. Like mine was turned down way low. So if you turn that up, it makes a huge difference in what comes out of your speaker. Just fiddle with it right now and like turn it down. That's why I'm telling you this, Ken, so you'll know.
You mean it changes?
Oh yeah.
Holy smokes.
And what it does is that's the volume of that comes out to the rest of us.
Yeah.
So it needs to be turned up always to make a difference. All right. Will is here for us. Todd is somewhere else today, and so Will is going to finish off our agenda. It's item 9, so we'll get to that. And Will, you didn't plan to be the one here today?
No, good afternoon, everybody. I just got a text from Todd, and it sounds like he's stranded on the highway with a load of cows, and it's not going well for him. So a couple of these things were surprises to me, so I'll do my best to answer your questions.
A request for Ag for Life funding, which we have done before.
I looks like it was done last year. They have a little trailer that they go around from schools to schools to help promote agriculture, and I think we sponsored their trailer.
Just the bumper sticker, Anne-Marie. All right. Questions, comments, or motion? I remembered. Kelly.
Well, I like this one. It's only $1,500. The only other thing that we could do is send them to our ag societies, who would likely write the check as well. But I'll make a motion to approve.
Discussion. All in favor? Oh, Trace, sorry.
Just to clarify, because there's a couple different options. Are we doing it for when is budget line for 2020 and beyond? Or option 1 is just, or it says, yeah. So for 2020 and beyond, or just for the 2020?
Yeah, we'll deal with the 2020 to this year, and I'll take off the words "and beyond." I think Todd got creative there.
So option 1 without the and beyond for 2020. Brian.
Well, I think the reason he had it in beyond the and beyond is so that it's included in the next year's budget. We of course have the option to remove it from a budget item, but I think that's why it missed this year's. It wasn't included, and so he wanted to make sure that next year. Otherwise, we wouldn't even see this if it was included in the budget. But it's missed his budget process, so I think you need to include the and beyond.
All right, so it's option 1 as written. Further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. And the hawk nesting poles.
Hawk nesting poles. That was it was kind of an interesting survey. I think everybody is in favor of it now. Whether they want to purchase one from the county, that was kind of a little uncertain. But I think we would just like to go ahead. We'll postpone the program for now. But we have in our options, we would like to, as the County of Newell, on some of our county properties, maybe erect 2 or 3 hawk poles and monitor them for a number of years. And then maybe revisit this again once strychnine is off the market.
Ellen?
Will, who and how are they going to monitor that?
Okay, that would be Ag Services. We will just have to make trips out there, see if the nests are being used or not, and just monitor it that way.
Well, I personally think we should, I would be in favor of option 1 and 2. Because put up a couple here, and then during your downtime in the winter, or at least build them and put them up when you don't have frost in the ground, and create a policy, because I think it is a worthwhile thing. I'm not saying we have to go out there and advertise it, but if a producer does come in and say, those look pretty cool, you've got a couple nests in there, would you build me one? And if they want to build their own, I mean, of course, most people know they have that option. They've got a template. I mean, so I like the idea of putting them on county land, and I also like the idea that if there's something that's available for a producer, that he has an option to come in, and if he doesn't like the way you've welded your stuff together, he can do his own thing too. So.
I'm not sure when we were in Handhills if you guys saw, but I spotted at least 4 hawk nests out and about in the country out there. I couldn't tell if they were being used or not. They were a little far away, but so I'm not sure what program they had in place that they're out there. I'll have to check into that too.
I think I might have mentioned when we first talked about this, because John has land out there, they put one up in an area where there had been a hawk, and the hawk didn't use the nest, and the hawk disappeared.
Oh.
Might have died, might have run into something unfortunate, but I think we should do the experiment first and see if these things that the county puts up actually get used before we get too involved and make these guys build policies and stuff, but I don't know.
I kind of agree with you, Molly. I'm all in favor of number 2, and if people start asking for them, then we get that feedback, and then certainly I don't think at any time our staff can come to us and say, can we build some, because we're getting requests. I would kind of like to do it that way, rather than say we're going to build them and then they're just sit here somewhere. So I just think it should be left open and see if people start talking about them, if they like it, and if they want the pattern, we certainly will give that to them. If they ask, where can I get one? Well, they can come to us. Staff can come back to us and say, hey, we've got a couple requests, can we build them? We're not going to make any money, but we're not going to lose any either. So that's the way I'd like to take it.
Any other thoughts? Okay, we need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Which option
Two.
2? Thank you. Further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Option 2. And pest control survey results. It's coyote time again.
Yes, thank you. So, year after year, we do a little bit of enforcement on the coyotes. It seems like it's an ongoing thing, but I do believe that through the calving period, when we most need the coyotes to be gone and they're not causing problems for the cattle producers, the numbers seem to come back in the spring right away anyways. So, but we can't eliminate all of them. They are good gopher control. I know that. My neighbor does not do gopher control, and every time I go up there, he's got 2 or 3 coyotes. You see them laying there by a gopher hole. They're waiting. So some are good, some are bad.
Questions or a motion? Anne-Marie? Motion to approve and continue. So that would be option 1. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Is that it? I think that's it. Is there anything else? Is the policy just there for us to refer to? There's no changes on it. Policy review.
I'm not sure if the year was changed in that, Molly.
Yeah, I can't find anything else that looks like. It looks. Do we approve it every year? Is that? Yeah, okay. So we need a motion then to approve the 2019 version of the Coyote Control Incentive Program. Gotcha. Somebody want to make that motion? Clarence makes that motion. All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. And there were survey results regarding the hawk nesting that were included in our package too. Just I don't know if there's any questions on that.
I think that was just put in as information if you guys wanted to look at it and read some of the comments.
Okay, Anne-Marie?
Thank you for doing that with the hawk nesting. It's just something outside the box. It's on the ASB conference on Tuesday, the man that talked about biocontrol, and it's just nice to see different options, and some work, some don't, but let's try them. So good job. Thank you.
Thank you, Anne-Marie. Yeah, with strychnine being on the bubble, we had to think of something else for our producers out there. We'll see if it works or not.
So, long story short, I'm a little bit confused about the strychnine. It's still available for 2020 spring?
It's still available. We do have some stock left, so
Yeah.
we will be able to sell some in the spring. They haven't made the decision yet as to whether it's going to be off the market or not. So we might be able to put in one more order yet. So, and if we do put in one more order, that will probably get us through to the spring, next spring also, 21.
There seemed to be a bit of confusion about that.
Yes, they're still making the decision. So until they do, people that were making the strychnine now, they've also sold part of their company to Planet Clean. Planet Clean is not going to touch this.
They don't sound like strychnine people.
No.
Planet Clean?
But the other part of Agromax, I believe it is, they can still build the strychnine for us.
Okay. Any other comments about anything? And it was an enjoyable day for the most part at Hand Hills. My favorite part of those days are going somewhere that most people haven't been And I really enjoyed finding out about the irrigation system. And because it's always been a little mysterious because the province is so involved with special areas. But it took the province to get involved with ATCO Gas, obviously, who needed a cooling pond to build the coal. I mean, it's a long, convoluted relationship with a big pile of money, I'm thinking. So, yeah, they got the irrigation system.
And it's very nice country around there. I
Yeah.
couldn't believe it that when we drove into the hills there, it was very nice.
You've never been there either?
I
then?
haven't.
No, and a lake in the middle of... I guess there's been times where that lake has just been pretty much dry
Yes.
over the... Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Will.
No, thank you.
Oh, you know what? Just one last thing. We were just before lunch. We had a quick conversation about the Bazzano Dam opening on tomorrow morning at 10, and perhaps making that a function of council in case people are interested in going for, not for the whole day because it goes till 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but dropping in perhaps to show support for the Eastern Irrigation District if you are interested in. Clarence, you were talking
Well,
about.
I guess just how many people would be interested in going is
Well, I am going.
2, 3, 4 signed up. Right? Looks
Do
like
we
a
have
whole.
to sign up? Lots of people.
Okay. Well, I'd like to make it a function of council.
Okay, motion for that. And I think it's important for us to show what an important structure that is to us. So all in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Sorry that sort of got forgotten. Along the way. Don't think there's anything else. Nothing else? We'll adjourn at 1 o'clock. Is that a record? No, we've done a before dinner one, didn't we, once?